Okay, greetings, Game Changers. This is Classic Games Redefined. My name's Rich, and let's just zoom out for a second here. What I'm actually working on here is this is going to be just a sample video that we're doing. It's part of the Abstraction of War series of videos I'm doing, or what we're looking at, abstract war games, abstract warfare, chess variants. We do a number of chess variants. This is the one sample video. I'm just playing around with Tabletop Simulator, just get a feel for things, just to show it here. I wanted to show some ideas here. And basically, the first demo video that we're doing here is we're looking at a way to integrate checker pieces into chess. We're going to have a chess somewhere. I'll show that in a minute. Kind of a reveal. There. Have it as a mystery. And what we do here is that we're looking at some of the ideas and concepts and issues we're facing with things here. Okay, that works. I was a little bit concerned because I've tried to shoot this video several times and I lose the animation. Anyhow, I turned off the cursor. That's not happening. Anyhow, what you see here is normally you have, like, you'll have chess sets are black and white. Okay, black and white. That's what they have here. Normal chess pieces. However, checkers are red and black, like you see here. So one of the questions you have here is regarding one of the issues you're going to run into and why I wish they'd have more black and white checkers is here. What to do with this. So anyhow, what we're going to look at here is just basic issues with uses you can have as pieces, and then we'll look at checkers by themselves. So anyhow, what we have here is you can do the following. You take, like, for example, white. You can take a red checker, put a label on top. What I did was I didn't have a label, but what I did was they have the neat tool which allows you to link join. I wonder if you could see it there. Let me see something else to do that works. You have a join feature, if you saw that lineup. It allows me to link pieces together and create something solid. So now what I did was I took a white checker, shrunk it down, and put it on top of a red one. So now what I did was I actually did this earlier and managed to color the pieces up. So I was able to get white checkers. So and I fixed it on top. So what you can do here, imagine that's a label. You could actually write something on top of it. You could write different piece types if you want on that. You probably could do something similar also regarding that here. What I did was with, like, on the black, taking a white label, putting it on top of there, and then what I did was I actually wrote for the white piece, I actually wrote on top of it, I wrote a basic symbol we had here. Okay, let's see what's happening. I've lost the camera. That's nice. Okay, anyhow. I wish this thing would pick up, and it doesn't. So anyhow. Well, what I'm going to do here, oh good, there we go. Now we got it back. So anyhow, like that way. I'm just concerned. I don't know what's exactly happening. Anyhow, one of the things I'm going to show you here is with that label, you would write on top, you're able to get variant pieces this way very inexpensively, as long as you have it correct. You could also probably paint the checker there if you want. Get some of the way, unless you have red and black chess pieces. So anyhow, what you can do, another thing too, is you could flip it. So you can do a version of concealment. You could have the piece this way here on the board, and then you move across, and then you could choose to flip it over when it lands there. So anyhow, concealment's one of the options. Another thing you have here is, let's take this. We have two pieces, okay? Let's say we do have this piece on top. On top like that there. You have all these pieces here. We'll highlight it, grab them together, move it. Underneath, you can also give a piece here. Let me do the following, pull this off quickly. Stop doing that. Anyhow, it came off. You could do the following. You could also, besides stacking pieces, you could give one-shot abilities to a piece, and then when it uses it, you take it out of the stack, put it back in. That's what we have here. And the camera froze again, so bear with me 1 second. I gotta let things get caught up here. Tell me my CPU is running high. So I am. So yeah, what you do is you would have the piece stacked together using the ability. I actually had two of them together. And you would have them together like this. Let me pull that off quickly. Have these things together like this here. And it's doing that. So you'd have a stack. Let's say you had a stack of abilities. You pull it together. Rides on top. And what you can do here is do it that way. Or let's say, for example, you had a range piece that does an attack. That could be ammo. Could be anything else. I'm using these black pieces there. You probably want to pick out like a gray neutral. Anyhow. So that's one of the things, is stacking pieces besides the usual, doing it that way. Also the concealment. The other thing is, if you had a label on the other side here, you could also do promotion. And like shogi pieces, you could do with checkers that way. So anyhow, As I said, you got the combining of temp powers, etc., and the unit flip and conceal on double-sided units. Anyhow, let me look at something else I want to show you here. This is my double draughts move. You obviously have the piece would inch forward like that there, that way. Gets down to the other side, it then can promote the back row as per normal. That's a movement that you have here. So they can move left, right, like that. They go up that way. And then when they come across, they move across. What it was here, this is with my double draughts, is that we'll show you how jump works in a minute. What do you do then? It moves into the back row. How does it move like a regular king? Well, you could have it also move backwards. What I like to do, because we're using double colors, is I like to have it move like a chess kings, which is orthogonally up, down, left. Oh, it froze. Hang on a second. Come on, wake up, world. Sorry, 1 second. There it goes. We're back. So we have that there. I need to move a bit slower, like that, up, down, and diagonally, and also have the jump thing. Now here's the thing you have with jump, and we're going to discuss a little bit of also checkers, this this double draughts version here. What I do is I'm going to put black checkers for, how should we do this thing here? What I'm going to do here is, that's a double piece. I'm going to pull it off. And we have one here. Piece moving forward. What is that you would have it be able to jump this here. Where these black checkers are. You do this, you hit Control C with Tabletop Simulator, hit Control V, and bam, I have another piece. So I can then do this thing here. If this piece were here, it could leap there. I mean, this could leap here like that. Go to that spot. Or it could go from here, this space, to here. If it's jumping, remember it's going to move orthogonally forward, like that, or jumping this way. That there. That there. That space, or that one. The other thing I do with the checker in the game, and I found for play balance purposes, otherwise it gets a little bit overpowered, believe it or not. And I'll show you that we have on the other side, over this side here. Anyhow, it's froze up again. Bear with me for a few seconds while it resets. Come on, camera. There it goes. Okay, it's back. What you see here is the jumping laterally or forward or to... Camera's running slow again. Bear with me 1 second. I want it to work right. Anyhow, it will jump. It could jump forward over that piece there. And on that. Whoop. I think I'm going to do is this thing's running slow. It's just disappointing me. My own computer, I don't know what happened with Tabletop Simulator or whatever else, but this thing's not running. Anyhow, you see these highlighted pieces, you would jump over and then land that way. What you do here is if, let's say it were a king. Let me pull this one out and we'll drop the king piece in. No, that's not a king. That's a king. I'll copy these pieces now. So what you do is, as a king, it will go here like that. And now it can jump backwards. And the other thing we have here, like in regular checkers, is that if there's a double jump, okay, we got some else here. These off. Down here. Put this back here. Set up an example of a multi-jump. That goes there like that. This goes here. This. Like that there. We can have it go here like that. That gets eliminated off the board. Thing can go there. That goes off the board. I was down here. If you remember, I was down here before. That space, I could have jumped. I could have had the piece jump. Hang on 1 second. I'll realize I got to move slowly with this camera. Let me get it caught up for a few seconds here. It will hopefully get caught up here. There it goes. You remember I jumped that way. Well, the other thing we could possibly do here, we could have jumped this way to there and then there. You don't have to make the most. I'm just showing you one thing to do with it. On the checker, we'll jump like that there. This is my basic double draw game, so it went off the board. We'll go here, go that way, goes here, and then he, after these pieces come off, both of those off, he ends up becoming a king. So that's what you do there. Okay, so you can add that there, and you can imagine chess pieces here. It also does it. And the other thing you have here, because you're going to follow the full checker rules I discovered work well, is that if he has a jump, he has it, which creates a powerful piece, but it's also a double-edged sword that your opponent can force to jump. Now let's do the reveal. Lift up this thing, move it over. What you see here is an example of a possible setup. And what we have here, we have the pawns out there. There is a game called AI GeoChess. I'll show that here, another thing. And what you do here is you just advance one space. The pawns here would move 1 or 2 space. This pawn here only moves 1 space forward. The pawns, if you remember remember what I did here earlier with these moves, back like that there, that I had on this board. Yeah, you have the same moves that way. They go like here or there. That one goes here, there. And the other thing is if it hits the back row, kind of like a pawn, but it hits the back row, it only promotes to a king piece. Or a double draw, it's promoted, man. This formation I found, which IAGO used, actually leads to some very interesting openings. The other thing, too, is that you can have a situation with this because I have the force jumps. If there's a jump, let's say, for example, let's say we did this here. Let's do an opening play. Did the following. He moves here. He moves forward. And then he moves the knight there. And then I bring this up to... Let me do the following. That there. I don't want to move that one forward. I want to move this here like that, I think. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's say we move this up there. Hopefully the mobility is keeping. Move it to that space. Next up, move that. He then moves this forward like that. Let's say that we advance this here. This is not optimal play, then he can move it there. As he's doing, he's threatening you see the knight there. Anyhow, this is where the jump comes in. I have to take the jump. Can't do any other move. I have to do that. If I have multiple things, I'd have to. And this comes off the board. He still makes another jump. Goes here like that. That comes off the board. Come on, stop freezing on me. This needs to get caught up with me. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see if it gets caught up. It's fallen beyond. Okay, there we go. So then we go like this here. Go like that. And you capture it. And it comes off the board. Triple jump. That's what you had. And it had to do the jump that way. I had one game where it came down here. My king got threatened. I moved it up. And because I had that, I ended up losing the king and losing the game. So anyhow. So I just wanted to show that to you. That is a way to use checkers, integrating checkers in various ways with chess. And that's about it. So I'm out of here. We'll be doing other ones. I'm going to look at the integrating of the Chinese chess canon and AIGO chess with chess. We'll be doing other videos like this, some more theoretical pieces, other things here. I'll possibly look at some other games. I mean, one of the ideas I'm looking at is how to combine Risk. How to combine Risk with chess. I'll give you a hint. Look at the game Titan. That'll give you an idea. So anyhow, okay, I'm out of here. Hey, we're pushing about 15 minutes here, so be uploading this video and see how it goes. I apologize for this thing here. I'm going to try to see what I can do. Sometimes I'm having stuttering. Anyhow, if we pick up the card here and we drag it over, what it does, it lays flat. So anyhow, so that's about it. That's the latest. Again, I do want to thank you for watching this here. Post some comments below, give some suggestions and thoughts we want to have here. This is just one video. Look at some other things here. Again, sky's the limit. Hopefully I'll be able to show a way to integrate these and have a system be able to work. And that's about it. So I'm out. So that's it. I do want to thank you for watching. And listening to me ramble on here. So I want to thank you for watching and listening. May your die always roll 5. And remember, Don't hate the player. Change the game. Okay, I'm out. Take care.